also going to record this show. So, we are live, guys. We are live. For those of you who are on YouTube, here you go. I'm on Instagram Live right now too, trying to promote the show. So, hi, Rich. What I'm about to do is end this live and hopefully direct some of you people over to my YouTube channel, which I am now broadcasting from. And I hope to see you there. So thanks for coming to alive me over here, people. And for all of you guys on the YouTubes, hello, thank you. Let me close my studio door, right? Close my studio door. Hello guys, welcome. I'm going to post this and try and get me some solicitation over here to this channel. Shameless plug, but I'm getting ready to post this. Looks like my volume is up too high. It looks like going over into the red zone. But anyhow, thank you guys for joining me today. Welcome. I put together, I'm tired. I put together a show, and I said I was going to start doing it throughout the week and try to help myself. I don't know. It's been a long week. The weeks go by so fast from Tuesday to Tuesday. I'll just tell you that. So, that's that. But welcome. I am your host, the Crazy Melanin Princess, aka Big Mama, and this is my life. ... After what? Well, watch some of the other shows, and you'll pick up what Big Mama putting down. Okay? Because yeah. Today's show we are going to be talking about microaggressions, because there's a lot of stuff that we can talk about. As it's an echo. Thank you, sis. That's what I'm talking about. That's my sister, my big sister. Okay? Now, hang tight. Now you stay on there, Lisa. Let me know what you feel, what you hear, what you got going on. Okay? Okay. Tell me what you... Is I'm still echoing? Or no? Or yes? Or am I just being loud? Because I do. I'm the oldest son. She talking about she the oldest, so she Big Mama. Well, she just the oldest. That's my older sister. She ain't no Big Mama. She just older than I am by a little bit. So you saying it's still an echo? Okay. Let's see. What about now? Because I see my volume is up. Turn this one down. Okay, let me know. What you got going on now, sissy? Talking about she big. I know, and our big mama lived to be 112 years old. She was 2 months shy of her 113th birthday. Her name was Hazel Shelton. So as y'all see in the chat, that's my sister Lisa Shelton. I'm Albert Shelton. I am the 10th child, 5 girls, 5 boys, and I'm number 10, lucky number 10, and I'm claiming Big Mama, even though our Big Mama, she was the smallest person that we all know. She was so little for everybody to have been so tall Everybody is tall. I'm 5'9" and I'm the shortest person in my family. On the female side, all of my siblings have been taller than I have. And what's crazy is I am in no way short. But when I stand next to my siblings, my nieces or my nephews, I look like a midget. And for people to have stood next to me, like, oh my gosh, she's so tall. Imagine how I feel being tall in a family of tall people and feeling like a midget. Because, why are these people so tall? That's my daddy fault. That's your daddy fault, Lisa. He did that. Why he got all these giants roaming the earth? You know what I'm saying? And our genes are so weird because you gonna know a Shelton when you see one. The minute anybody sees us, they're like, oh my gosh, y'all all look like a gazillion different versions of the same something. And we do. We look like a million different versions of my dad. And then we splintered off, and then all our kids look like they can be picked and chosen to go with any sibling of ours. Like, your kid may not look like you, but they look exactly like their uncle or aunt or something. And we all do love being tall. I wish I was taller. I don't know how I got so short. I got gypped. I guess when you all the way at the bottom, they just like push you down and push you down until soon ain't no more room left to be tall in the family. Like, they took all the tall away or something. Because Lisa, how tall are you? 6'1"? And then, let's see, one of my other sisters, she was 6. So Lisa's like 6'1". So everybody is roughly 6 feet tall. And I'm the only 5-footer something. Everybody tall. So, whatever. I'm a little jealous. I'm a little bitter. My sister used to model, maybe one model. And I guess I was just too short. Oh, but let me tell y'all, I entered into the Maxim. Oh, see, she 5'10". See, I ain't that much shorter. And she always on heels. And I love when tall people wear heels because I don't know why people think women ain't supposed to wear heels just because they tall. That's stupid. I'm wearing heels all the time. I always got on heels. Except today, because the people had me walking around that warehouse to try to make some money. And so I had to find some sandals or something, because Big Mama wasn't about to be walking around forklifts and all that. They gonna take my toe off, and I need my toes, okay? So thank y'all. Welcome. That's a little bit of my history with my sister in the chat, giving me all the love and the feedback, because that's what we do. And I love her. And y'all would too if you knew her. But I went to, see, Karen was shorter than me. I don't know why she always seemed like the same height as me. Oh yeah, she a little big thing. Like Asha. Asha's little too. She ain't that big. But then her kids are tall. See, it's the weirdest thing in this family. Some kind of way you gonna get some 6-footer genes, because it just is what it is. When our daddy was 6'6", 6'7", 6'6", 6'7", yeah, he wasn't short. So I guess that's where it all came from. And he got 10 tall people out here in the world, and then they got kids and they all tall too. So there you have it. Our time capsule tonight. Tuesday, April 29th. Welcome, people. It has been 100 days since Trump has been in office. 100 days. It feels like 100 years, okay? It's been way too long. Why he ain't done yet? I mean, okay. We just putting this stuff into the time capsule. That's what we here for. The time capsule. We putting this stuff into. I can't change it. I can't change that. That's the day that we own. I don't know. Trump got 100 days in. Beyonce, she started her Cowboy Carter tour. And it looked like our little niece out there tearing it up. Ain't she? Look at little Blue. She looks so cute. She is a pretty little girl. And she really went into the lab and did her due diligence. She put in the work, and little baby has come out like, what you won't keep doing is talking about me as if you don't know who I am, what kind of genes I got. And And what? Y'all gonna leave that little baby alone and let her live her life, okay? I love that. The county of Los Angeles, they on strike right now. So I had to ask my girlfriend. I said, Kurt, are you over there striking and walking the streets of downtown Los Angeles? Now, I don't know if she's walking the streets of downtown Los Angeles, but she did tell me that indeed she is on strike. So that's what's going on today. The county of Los Angeles, the workers are downtown striking. I don't know what kind of services that we're going to be missing out countywide, but ain't coming. Ain't nobody coming to save you. Don't nobody care. And I'm taking it they probably want some type of money. Ain't that what a strike always about? Money. Lakers game 5. If these boys don't win tonight and every night thereafter, done. Lakers is no more Lakers till next year. I don't know if Luka could save them. He's good. The problem is LeBron likes to lay on the ground and cry and to do like this. I don't know if they saw me, but get him off our team, please. Can somebody please remove him and send him back to Cleveland? We don't mind keeping Savannah, though. Her and Zuri, we keep them. You take him and his son. And the other son, too. Not that he did nothing to us, but yeah, just gone. Y'all tearing my Lakers up. And I'm not really a fan of that. So that's what we got. Hopefully at the end, well, no, the game wouldn't be over by the end of this. But anyhow, hopefully sometime tonight the Lakers pulled off a win, because if not, then it's lights out. Lakers in game 5, huh? So much for that. Well, that's our time capsule. That's Tuesday, April 29th. What's going on here in sunny SoCal, LA, and about and around. So we're going to lock that into the time capsule and throw it away. My Black Business Spotlight. Now, let me tell you, I don't know that this is much to do with Black business. It just is what it is. I said I was going to research it. I didn't even care to research it because I just don't care. Now, it's the City of Lights Jazz Festival. That's where I went this last weekend. That's why I was in Las Vegas. And I still ain't posted this thing on Instagram. So I went to the jazz festival. Notable names: Gawapale performed, Leela James performed, Kim performed. Now, I'm putting this under my Black Business Spotlight. I'm going to say ignorantly, because I don't know if this was a Black sponsored thing, if this was a Black promotion thing. I don't know if the promoters are Black, I would assume, but hey, you know what that does. Makes it ASS out of you and me. But I'm going to say this. It was a melanated event. So even if the people were like this and not like this, it was a 100% melanated event, okay? And by that, I mean pretty much your artists are Black. Eric Darius, jazz performer, was Black. There's only one performer that opened the show. Jazz performer was not of African American descent. And with that being said, I've noticed over the last 2-3 years that I've gone that the age of the occupants, the people who go to this festival, has really changed. Like the demographic. One thing I will say, and I was saying this to my cousin, we had a conversation while I was out there. This jazz festival, unlike pretty much all the ones in Los Angeles, is very expensive. Like the tickets are expensive. It's a 2-day event. No doubt they do have great talent. I mean, Kim's a great, I mean, I'm not a fan of Kim at all. I really can't stand him, but I can understand that he is a great talent. His music is just not for me and my listening pleasure. I really cared about seeing Leela James. And Gawapale, I just saw her a couple months out here. They were giving out a free jazz in the park at Chase Park here in Marina Del Rey, which is, for those who may not know, the beach area for Los Angeles, or in the beach areas near Los Angeles, maybe 5 miles from LA proper. And so I've seen Guapole before. She's really good. And I know he's a great artist, he is a great artist. I'm gonna tell you another one. I think she's absolutely gorgeous. I love everything about her. Bubbly, beautiful, can sing her butt off. I don't like her music. Y'all gonna hate me. Jill Scott, her music is not for my listening pleasure. And I can, as a person who understands, knows, sings, all these things having to do with music, I can understand great talent. So I'm not going to take their talent away. They are phenomenal artists. They can sing. They got all the things. I just don't like their music. It's so weird, but they're really good. Really, really, really good. So I'm not going to take anything away. It's just not for me. So yeah, I saw Guapole. I really want to see Lila James, but cautionary tale about this one jazz event. It started at 1 p.m. I went on the Sunday show. Starts at 1. And my goodness, I don't know what it is. Well, I guess I do know what it is because I don't pinpoint it. The breaking down of equipment from one artist and the setup of the next artist is trash. And it's trash because it's almost like between 45 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes where the DJ, I think her name was DJ Spark. She's really good though. But when you pay $200 to go see a jazz festival, I'm paying for the artist. And unfortunately, with that 1 hour gap between every single act, because there are 5, I think Jason Crowley, Eric Darius, Guapole, who came on? Lila James, Kim. I was there really to see Lila James. That was the order of the show. I was packed up and walking out when Lila came on just because it took an hour for her and her people to come on. I think that that's something that they can really improve upon for that show. This year, I will say, see, you don't like her music either, but she is great. Exactly. I will say that this year, I really wasn't feeling it. And I really went this year to go be with my family, which when I get to the On Purpose, you'll know that that was a high of my week. Nevertheless, that is really draining. And this year, unlike the previous years that I've gone, the weather was so much better than sitting outside in 106 degrees, sweating. The venue does not give coverage at all. So people were borderline fainting last year, and the year before was like 111 or something, and we walked right in and we walked right out. It was like, there's no way. We can't sit like this underneath the sun all day. And mind you, you got to give credence to those 3-4 hours that you're sitting there with just listening to the DJ, because there's no acts on it. There are no acts on at that particular time. So that's my Black Business Spotlight. I'm going to get off of that, because I will say that this is my very last year attending that particular jazz festival. It is far too long. The day is way too long. And that's exactly what I said, sis. I said that there has to be another way for them to set up and break down all of their instruments faster than an hour and a half. What I love about it, and I was telling my cousin Sheikah about this, the jazz festivals that happen at the Hollywood Bowl, is the way in which the stage is set up. And so with the Hollywood Bowl, the dome, there's a front and then there's a backstage. So while these people are on stage, when they go off, curtain closed, even though I don't know that they really use a curtain, they just spin the stage around. And then when the stage is spent around, bam, here come whoever. Prince is up there next. I mean, now, of course, Prince ain't up there right now. And if he do, that'd be real scary. But I'm just saying, he's not going, we're not going to wait an hour for the next act to come on and all that other stuff. So, yeah, I think they need to have them on rollers. They need to do something, because that ain't cutting it. but the music was phenomenal. The artists sound immaculate. Guapole, she is so gorgeous, and her energy and everything. I did not like what Leela James had on. I don't know what the heck she came out there wearing. I said, I think she thought that she was in Sinners, because I know she thought she was a vampire. And had Vegas been as hot as it traditionally is or historically is, that wouldn't have worked, baby. That would not have worked. You would have melted. The flying monkeys would have, like, it was a whole black trench and some other stuff. It just wasn't it. It wasn't it. But her voice was. Her voice was hitting like sweet velvet, like it does every other time. So that's that. Now let's get to this Kids Corner, because it kind of collided with my show when I was at this jazz festival. Ain't nothing to report on most of these kids. Well, most of them, like I got so many, even though I do. Chopper talking about, he texted me, was it yesterday, before yesterday, when I was on my way to Vegas, talking about, I need to know what time my flight is, because I gotta check out. He checking out. Checking out of what? You gotta check out of school, boy. If you don't go sit your butt down somewhere. He was like, because I gotta give them a time as to when I'll be checked out. Like, is it a hotel? As much money as being spent in that dorm for meals and all this other stuff? You gotta check out, like curtain call, curtain time, check out. Trump have it. He didn't want to check back in. Now, let me not laugh. This boy trying to be a doctor, and I need him to be a doctor because he is my retirement plan. So let me not laugh, because let that little boy go and check out. But he gonna be checking out, and he gonna be checking back in to his humble abode where my studio is now located. Aja, I'm trying to give her one of these puppies because I think she needs a support animal. I think, why? Just so she can have something to do, because Lola is a little old lady and don't be having her do too much work. But we do have a little runt of the litter, and their personalities are much the same. She's kind of like, I think it's a boy. It's a boy though. She's kind of, this is Aja, much like her mom back in the day. You'll sit and get picked on. You don't really care until you care, and then you come out like, that's that cancer thing. And I want her to get away from that. So I figure if she get a little dog, then maybe that'll help her with, I don't know what. What are emotional support dogs for? Anyway, what are they for? I don't know. Emotional support. So maybe it can support her emotionally to get out of her little bitty shell and come alive, because these dogs will have her cursing and doing a whole lot of other stuff she don't do, unless she mumble curse, which I think she probably mumble cursed me out before, but I ain't hear nothing, so it don't count. And Sterling, because this is what collided at the jazz festival. I need a drink for this. These kids, he the oldest one, and he got me drinking on TV. I didn't even tell y'all my drink for the night. You know why? Because Jared is not here. And you know why? Jared's supposed to be my bartender. He gets paid to be here. And he ain't here. So let's see. Oh, shoot. That's strong. Hey, I was in a rush. I had to do it myself. That's a salty dog, guys. Same thing as last week. I got pink Himalayan salt on there. It is my fresh juiced grapefruit juices. And I didn't use Tito's vodka. This is Kirkland vodka. So it's Kirkland vodka, my fresh juiced grapefruit juice, shaken, and pink Himalayan salt on the rim. So you drink the salt on the rim along with the drink, and then it's called a salty dog, and it is so delicious. This one's really strong, and my bad to myself. This is my fourth one today. I'm drunk, y'all. I'm sorry. I don't want to give a drunk show, but sometimes it be like that, because I had to do real work today. See, I still got my costume on from work earlier today. So, Sterling. If at any time you guys watch a playback or watch any of the other ones and I'm talking too slow, y'all can hit the settings somewhere down there and you can speed it up. You don't have to watch it in whatever format this is. You can actually speed it up. So I start talking real fast, like do like that, cause y'all like, chick, hurry it up, okay? Get your thought out. Say whatever you gotta say real fast. You can do that on the playback though. You can't do it while we're live. So just some housekeeping tips and stuff. Anywho, let's get into it. So Sterling, he texted me at the jazz festival and say, "Hey sucker, I'm gonna need me a flight after all." Now I told y'all a month ago I should have just bought this boy a flight. Now it's a firestorm. His lack of preparation has become an emergency on my part. You know why? Because it's my money. That's why. These kids ain't got no money. So if I want him here for Mother's Day, which we all know I really want him here for Mother's Day, and then I got to front getting him a flight. Remember he said, "Oh, I'm getting a ride out there." Well, now he ain't getting a ride out there. And he texts me talking about, "I ain't getting a ride out there. I need a flight." I said, "Boy, Mother's Day is like in a few days. These flights are $250. Where I could have bought you one for $40. That's what I'm saying. How they just be. So while I'm at the jazz festival, I can't get the thing to work because now I'm like, oh my God, I gotta hurry up and do this. So I'm trying to listen to music, laugh, chill with my family, and figure out how to get this boy. I told y'all, trying to get these kids from around the world to where they gotta be when they supposed to be here, because I am their resident travel agent. They ain't buying nothing. And I'm over it. I don't even talk about no more about it because he pissed me off. But I will say I did find him a flight for $80, $70, $80 on Frontier. I wouldn't fly to him, but he is. He ain't got no bags included or nothing. He texted me today. He said, "What about my bags?" Them bags. That's what I want to say. You don't need no bags. You are a bag. You are a piece of baggage right now, okay? I said, baby, I just went and gone and got the flight. Now I'll buy you some baggage fees and all of this stuff. I got 10 days to come up with another $40 to get this boy some bags going. So that's that. That's that on that. How y'all feel about, I know y'all been looking at the internet, talking about 100-man team. Pick your team on finding 100 dudes, and if you guys, well, men, women, team, it doesn't matter. And if you guys can beat up a gorilla. Okay, so what I like about these challenges is I want to see somebody try it. I want somebody to record themselves, since people are so silly, supercilious. I want to see 100-man team really try to go after a gorilla. Please film it, because I love primates. To know me is to know I love. If you come on, look at my Instagram stories. Everything's about monkeys, and if I send y'all a whole bunch of stuff, it's about monkeys, because that's all I really care about. Dogs, monkeys, horses, elephants, dolphins, and whales. Yeah, they're my ones. So, I mean, pigs, sheep, and goat too. But you know what I mean. For the most part, those are the top ones. Primates and dogs and horses. And if I'm Pippi Longstocking, you know, that's my whole everything right there. But I want to see who y'all challengers, because I don't care who y'all pick. That gorilla gonna beat the brakes off of y'all. Y'all sound real stupid. And now they got all these posts, and it's so comical because are you silly or are you dumb? That gorilla is gonna manhandle all 100 of y'all, because you gotta think all 100 can't run up to him at the same time, so he gonna toss y'all 5 at a time. And I'm here for it. I hope someone films it. I'm cheering for the gorilla, and we gonna laugh afterwards. Now, I told y'all we ain't gonna do too many politics, but I do got a political corner, since we talking about college and it's graduation time and it's all this other stuff. Y'all want y'all wages garnished, or y'all want jail? Which one you pick? You want a little correctional facility, or you want half your check? Because this man and his policies, he said these PPP loans, these student loans, which ain't funny because that's applicable to my babies, okay? He said, y'all gotta pay that back, all of it. And imagine if you took PPP loans off. Marcus, you're so crazy. He walked in on monkeys and Pippi Longstocking. Yes, I was talking about the 100 your team. Pick your team of 100 men, 100 whoever's against the gorilla, because that's, you know, me and my monkeys, right? Because you know that's what people love, is these old silly Instagram things. And that is so funny that people want to talk about 100 people attacking gorilla. Okay, good luck with that. Anyhow, so what he's saying is your PPP loans, imagine that you got PPP loan for $120,000, ain't even got no real business, and now you got to pay that back, and all you bought was designer purses or something that, as you know now, you can buy off any site from China and get the exact same back. So it devalued all that 120 if that's what you did with the money. Now, if you really got a business and you did something, that sucks that they're telling you to pay it back. But hopefully, you know, you built a business, it's lucrative, and you have money to pay it back. Now, if you don't, and Uncle Sam come knocking, he said you can either give it to me in your tax refund, which ain't nobody getting PPP loan tax refunds no more because Trump changed that whole tax code 6 years ago. That's all done and over with. We ain't getting none of that. Earned income credit, all that's the thing. We've passed, so bye for that. You can pay with your tax refund, which we don't get that no more. Your pension, I don't know how many of us have jobs that even give you a pension anymore. As I said, County of LA downtown striking right now, so they pensions is like, they doing some things, okay? And they trying to get their pension to be pension without you pension they pension. But Trump said, I will pension their pension if they decided that they wanted to have taken out a student loan or a PPP loan. Or just straight wages, like just going into your check, calling your HR saying, hey, make sure every payday you snatch up $497 from them and you run that my way. Or do y'all want jail? And I ain't gonna lie, depending on the price, your girl might choose jail, because my check ain't enough for you to come in and tap in and take too much of nothing. I mean, if it ain't like $25, Houston, we gonna have a hell of a problem if you think that you about to come in and take some of my money. On the back end, I don't know. That's why I asked y'all, what y'all want? Jail or all your money gone? Because Trump's coming for, I don't know. It's sad and it's scary. And if you don't pay, he might send you to Ecuador or El Salvador or somebody else's door, because he ain't playing fair right now. So I'm gonna be done with him, because I don't want to say his name no more during this podcast. Not no more, okay? None. But what I do want to offer you guys is a Buddhist principle. And I told y'all last week I was nursing a broken heart and a whole lot of other stuff. Like, life was life last week, kicking my butt in every facet, work, and everybody was just, I felt like it was just an attack on my life in every way, coming from every way. And so what I had to do is really sit there and just be quiet, be still, be quiet. So Buddhist principle, there are 4 natural sanctuaries. As we talked before about something having to do with the mind, right? Is pretty much that's where we live. We dwell inside of our heads. And so this principle is about 4 natural sanctuaries. One is silence. The second one is solitude. The third is stillness. And the fourth is simplicity. Natural sanctuaries. So when you think of a sanctuary, I don't know what you guys think of, but I do think of a safe place a respite, like a place of rest, a place where peace is perhaps found. If it's not in abundance, it's definitely a place where you can probably find peace, right? Where people may go to acquire that level of peace. So those four sanctuaries, I'll recite them: silence, solitude, stillness, and simplicity. And I'm gonna speak on this one before we get into our main topic. Silence. And I had sat with this. I talked to my therapist a couple weeks ago. And silence, it doesn't mean you have nothing to say. It may mean you realize that no matter what you say, it won't change anything. And hey, JJ. And so I really had to sit with that, like, dang, do you guys ever find yourself just talking till you blue in the face? You're trying to get people to understand you. You're trying to be heard. You're trying to do all of these things. And sometimes you feel like you're spinning more wheels and staying in one place. And then you realize this isn't peaceful for me. And so what you feel as if you have to do is, this is my year of say less. Like, that is my slogan this year is bet, say less. You don't have to explain nothing to me anymore. You don't explain nothing to me this year. You don't, maybe next year. But this year, say less. You don't want to? Say less. Not going to? Say less. You don't feel like it? Say less. You hate me? Say less. You this? Say less. You ain't got to say not another word to me. And so in my silence, I am realizing that I don't have to fight to always be heard, get my point across, be understood, especially in those spaces where you really exhausted yourself in speaking and trying to be heard, trying to do all those things, and you realize it's never going to change anything. And with that, we'll move on. But I did want to leave that with you guys, because that was something that last week I sat in and I was just so frustrated that I didn't get it out, that I was like, you know what? It is what it is. And then we talking about LA because these people down there striking. And my friend has sent me this funny about things before we get into microaggressions, because we need a little funny, because this is not a fun topic. Things that are harder than an LA marathon, child. Let Big Mama get her glasses out. She got them this week. She ain't got to use the ones with one thing that's missing and the other one that's still there. Things that are harder than running the LA marathon. Dating across the 405. Because, baby, if they over there and you over here, we going to meet up sometime, some point. Parking in Koreatown. That ain't happening. I mean, I drive for Lyft, and it is so funny the amount of people that I have picked up from their car to drive them home in Koreatown. That's where they park. They drive around and around and around and around, and then they call a Lyft or Uber, and then they pick them up from the car and drop them off in that front door. So that is real. Like, Koreatown ain't got no kind of parking, and that's whack. Finishing a bag of spinach before it goes bad. I got stories. It's gross. I ain't gonna tell them, because that's why I juice. When I see that it's going downhill, throw that thing in a juicer and we're gonna drink that, because we ain't got time to be wasting no groceries. But yeah, whoever finishes a bag of spinach, yeah, I'll listen. I'll wait. Yeah, none of y'all. Okay. Things that are harder than running an LA marathon. Leaving a voicemail. Do we still do that? I know I do. I'm in sales. I have to, but I don't think I left you. Oh, Marcus, I left you a voicemail. 2 of them when I sung you happy birthday last week. So, the Beverly Hills 8-way stop sign. Baby, if y'all ever drove over there, don't nobody know what they doing. They don't know where they going. All they know is everybody got a car that's worth $250,000. Don't hit it and we'll figure it out. Not me, but them. Making up a good excuse to get out of seeing your friend's improv show. Like y'all right now watching me love y'all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. Thank y'all for signing in. Thank y'all for watching. So I guess y'all did this and it wasn't as hard as running a marathon. I mean, Mark is the only person I know be running around the world. He did a, what's that called? A triathlon? Is that, I'm making words up? I know what it is, but my brain is one track right now, so I can't be thinking about nothing else. Keep a tote bag on your shoulder. I always thought it was just me, like maybe my shoulders go down, but no purse really stays. Does anybody have a shoulder like that goes like this? Because why doesn't stay up there? A book bag stay up. Why don't the other parts stay up? So whatever. We ain't keeping tote bags on shoulders. Landing at LAX on a Sunday. Baby, them flights are sky high. They higher than giraffe. And it just is bad. Sunday LAX, bad. Ooh, bad news bears. Again, driving for Lyft. The minute I see LAX, I say no. No, no, no. I can't take that ride. I'm like, what's that insurance company? It'd be like, the General. I can't take that ride, baby. Triathlon. That's what it's called. Did I say it right? Triathlena. Okay. Well, see, he run. He be riding that bicycle and he goes swimming that swamp water out there in Marina Del Rey. So yeah, he the only person I know who do that. Even though I said I want to do it, I ain't quite did it yet because that water is a little. I've done seen how they made the marina. I seen what's in it. I don't want to get in that. And it be on your lips. Like when I go to the beach, I'll already be engulfed in water and stuff. And that stuff be all on your face and your mouth. And that's nasty. And then you got to swim in that. That is nasty. Now if they had a triathlon with a pool, they need to do triathlons at like a high school that has a natatorium, a nice track, and then the bike don't matter. We can hop on and just go through the streets of LA. Now that, you have me. Me in that pool, I be swimming laps. Oh, they would not want none of your girl. They wouldn't want none. Okay, things that are harder than LA running a marathon. This ain't me. Remembering someone's name 5 seconds after they tell you, y'all got that bad. See, I am in sales. I have to remember people's names. It pays me to remember people's names and use it multiple times because that's a sales technique, right? Getting into the Magic Castle. Aside from my friends that's black like this and not like this, I only know one person who's ever been to the Magic Castle. And that's one of my petty petunias, my little Bonnie Jones. She's the only person I asked that girl, how you get in there? Of course, a special invite. Don't nobody even know that the Magic Castle even exists. And half y'all probably gonna be like, what is the Magic Castle? That part. Secret Society. What's that? The Rock? I don't know what them symbols is. I'm over here talking about Illuminati. Don't be listening to me. If you don't hear Illuminati, I'm just joking. I don't know. Don't come for your girl. It was a jokey joke. And I'm not her. She not me. So yeah, that those are some things that we find harder than running the LA Marathon. Because if you from LA, those things are so funny because they just so random, but they are so true. And why is it difficult like that in LA? I don't know. What'd you say, Marcos? They have somewhere the swimming portion isn't a pool. Oh, well, see, now let me inquire within. Because now you got me. I'm going to have to look for that. And then y'all going to be supporting your girl. Oh, I didn't tell y'all. Maxim. So I'm going to post it on my Instagram. I submitted something to be a Maxim model, not to be a real model. I entered a contest based off of pictures. Ironically, my cousin Marcus took the picture that I submitted for the contest. So, yeah, if I knew how to work on my stuff, I could post it up there for y'all, and then it'd be on the screen. Y'all be like, oh yeah, whatever. I ain't there yet. You know, we still trying to learn how to have sound and video at the same damn time. Okay, Big Mama ain't there. So, microaggressions. That's where we are. They are better known as commonplace verbal, behavioral, and environmental slights. Hey, TT. That's what they are. You know, people trying to slight you, and you got to be like, now, let's talk about them. What they are. How do we identify them? Characteristics of them, how they've been categorized or classified, and a few examples of them. But most importantly, on this show, because we're about action, how do we handle them? Because we ain't got time for this. You know, life is about improving ourselves and growth. Oh, my fats had to help you, huh? Because you don't know how to use no YouTube, huh, TT? So that's all bad. But anywho, that's hilarious that we owed. Hey, Dave, it's another Shelton on the line. See, I got 32 views. Truth be told, they all could be Sheltons. Okay, I'm not going to make no more Shelton jokes because I'm just not going to do that. But let's get into microaggressions. Microaggressions. I love y'all too. Thank you, sis. Listen at the history of the term microaggressions. A psychiatrist in 1970 came up with the term to describe subtle insults and put downs that African Americans exclusively experience. So here we are walking into a door opened by African Americans that plague, affect other marginalized groups, but the first ones to kick the door down and take that onset of what comes first when you open the door, because you don't know what's on the other side. When you don't know what's on the other side and you being attacked, we the first ones to take heat. We're in the front lines of all the wars, all the things. It's just another war in the workplace or out or wherever the heck you are. So marginalized groups, they include individuals, populations outside of mainstream society, and pretty much living at the margin of those in the center of power or cultural dominance and economical and social welfare. People who are marginalized, that is not a choice of ours. So, microaggressions are statements, actions, or incidents regarded as an instance of indirect, subtle, or unintentional discrimination against members of a marginalized group, as I was saying. We do want to figure out how to identify them. They are usually based off of nothing more than your race, ethnicity, or your nationality. Few characteristics: they are indirect, they're subtle, and they are unintentional. Often times, right? Often time. Because I swear, as I'm going to keep telling y'all, I work for this tech company. It's a Japanese tech company. But as it relates to them in the U.S., they white. They real white, okay? I love my Japanese brothers and sisters. But in this here U.S., the company is white. They ain't Japanese. I would much prefer to work with the Japanese than the ones that I got to deal with, because they not getting that this is not a white company. It may be here in America, but it ain't white. And because of that, I work with a group of 12 white men, 1 white woman, 1 black man, and I'm the other black woman. So I'm one of 2 women and one of 2 blacks. So I'm the double minority in this executive team. Okay. So another psychologist, Dr. Daryl Wing Sue and colleagues, they defined that there's 3 classifications of microaggression. Micro assaults. You've been assaulted before. This is a micro assault. This is when a person intentionally behaves in a discriminatory way while not intending to be offensive. An example is telling the racist joke and then saying, oh, I was just joking. That's a micro assault. A micro insult, different from a micro assault. This is a micro insult. They're insulting you microly, right? This is a comment or action that is unintentionally discriminatory. For example, saying to an Indian doctor, your people must be so proud. Micro invalidations. These are the three classifications. Micro assaults, micro insults, and micro invalidations. Micro invalidations, this is when a person's comment invalidates or undermines the experiences of a marginalized group. Example will be a white person telling a black person that racism don't exist no more. Okay, let me just riddle off a few of these as be prepared. The daggers is about to pew 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 y'all, right? Because again, we want to make sure that we identify what's happening. And the reason why I'm doing this, of course, because of where I work and the people I work with, you often have these microaggressions toward you, and we don't know what the heck to do with them. We take on a lot, but where does that leave us? If we're in a world where we're always taking on the brunt of other people's jokes, insults, micro assaults, all of those things, we are not, God did not put us here, or whatever higher did not put us here to be somebody else's punching bag. It's not fun. It's not healthy. And I think that we all have a place and we all can be better, because as I throw these out, you ain't safe. You throw out microaggressions too. All day, every day. We are not only victims here, we are also abusers, because we all do it. And we have to check ourselves, because that ain't cool. So some examples, just basic ones. We're not going to get into, well, I'm going to get into some racial, misogynistic, and sexist ones, but just a few of them. Complimenting a person raised in the United States on their English simply because they are not white. Oh, you speak so well. That is one of my, I'm going to start there. The reason why I highlighted that one, that's my biggest one. The biggest feedback when I was at corporate for my kickoff a few weeks ago, when my show went to shit. When I finished my presentation for the president, the VP, and all the other people, I want to cry from frustration, not because I feel any kind of way about it. I cannot stand people telling me how eloquently I speak. The fuck that mean? Now I know what it means, because it's a microaggression. You're trying to say, oh, you're a black woman, we didn't know that you guys could speak like that. That's what your microaggression just said to me. As if we are not the most educated group in America. But you telling me that I speak well? How am I supposed to speak? And then they fail to realize I'm code switching. I don't talk like this, but I know how. That's the problem. So we're just going to start there. Okay. Underrepresenting different races, sexualities, and disabilities in the media. That's huge, because that to me is propaganda. Propaganda is a larger aggression. It's not micro. It's huge, because what you display, or the way in which you represent marginalized groups, is abhorrent. And you have one supreme group as if they commit no atrocities, they're this, they're that. And that's just not the case. And we know it, because that's just the life we live, in the neighborhoods we live in the communities in which we live in. We see that there's black on black crime, there's white on white crime, there's Asian on Asian crime. The biggest crime on crime is white on white crime. But you've never heard that phrase, right? It's only black on black crime. That's a big part of a microaggression on a larger scale. So it's not even micro. That's that. Unwilling to find stereotypical or derogatory sports teams' names offensive. When something is blatantly offensive, and then someone says, "Oh, I don't see anything wrong with that." Oh my God. This is one. That shit gay. That is so gay. That is a microaggression. What makes it gay? And what makes someone else's lifestyle adjective or a term or of something to say that that's what this behavior is in lieu of it not being something else? That is someone's whole identity. I mean, not their whole identity. They are humans, so they're more than just their sexual orientation. Nevertheless, they are more than just their sexual preference. So to say that, "Oh, you wear your pants like that? Oh, dude, you gay." That's not cool. Check yourself. Because as I said, I'm hitting us all. We all got daggers, and these darts is about to be thrown, and we all gonna catch some strays, and we gonna catch some real ones, because that's what we be doing. Whether we like it or not, we do talk like this. And if we're not doing it, I can't even say in the safety of your own whatever, because you can still feel some kind of way about something, even though it's not directly related to you. So that's that. Considering certain people to be more valued than others based on their ethnicity, class, or sexuality. Because I went to this nail shop, and all the black people will be the ones who have kept this place open. Skylar Nails on Slauson, Patsy. Yes, I'm calling you out because I do not like that woman. Anyhow, as gentrification began to really rear its ugly head in the Black Beverly Hills area, so that's View Park, Windsor Hills, Baldwin Hills, and Ladera, this nail shop that all of us black women have been patronizing and keeping open, they would put aside our nail appointments when they saw some white women walk in, and they would all rush to assist them, and kind of like, "Oh, I don't even care that they in here, they gonna be here, they gonna come back again, but I'm gonna take this money," as if the money ain't green, because the money ain't green, and it ain't black, and it ain't white, it's green. So that's that. Some racial microaggressions. Serving a white person right away, because that was one of the ones, right? Denying that racism exists, been there, done that. Accusing the other person of being oversensitive when they are harmed by a microaggression. When people tell you that I am not supposed, when you who are not melanated like me tell me that I am not supposed to feel a certain way because that person didn't mean it, you ain't here on the receiving end to tell me how somebody else meant something that the dart went this way. You can't tell me, "Oh, I got hit by a dart." Oh, girl, don't even feel that like that. Did you get hit by a dart? Because if not, you can't sit here and tell me nothing about that. Okay, saying, for example, the best person should get the job, regardless of race, as this does not take into account structural or institutional racism. You can't say that, and I understand we doing away with DEI. Many of us never benefited from it in the first place. We not getting into that today, because that's a whole other topic and a whole other can of worms that we can dive into. Some aggressions, racial, is not even speaking up when you hear them. Now that's a tough one. I'm not gonna lie. If I was of a different color and I heard a racial microaggression, perhaps I would not stand up and say anything. Thanks, cousin. Perhaps I wouldn't. Maybe I would not say anything at all. Maybe that's a coward in me. I don't know, but I don't know that many of them even recognize that there are microaggressions happening, that they're like, "Oh, I need to push back on that." That's a big one, to not speak up. Some sexist microaggressions, the use of sexist language. These are kind of easy. Trump. Oh, I said I wasn't saying his name anymore. Sorry. That dude, orange dude. Sexist, the use of sexist language. Denial that sexism exists. If he was, okay, how can I say this? I don't want to say his name. I can say her name, Kamala. Okay? Denial that sexism exists. We would not be where we were if sexism did not exist. Assumption about gender roles. Ooh, when I was at that thing a couple weeks ago, being one of the only women, we're writing stuff on the board that we want to, intentions for our meeting and all this other stuff. The VP asked, oh, who has great handwriting? No, yes, I do have very great handwriting. I know men who have really great handwriting too. And the whole room, again, 13 men, looked my way. Because who needs to be the one writing on the board? I did it. Sexist microaggression is something that another gender is inferior. Because there are a lot of men who believe that women are inferior. There are a lot of women who feel as if women are inferior. And that's kind of sad, but it's the truth. So sexist microaggressions doesn't necessarily have to come from the other side. It can come from within too, and you feeling the way in which you feel. Some institutional factors such as a pay gap or a glass ceiling. Now, we're not going to get into that because that's more about policy in this country and why do women get paid a fraction of what men get paid when we do the exact same job. I'm not talking about forklift operators and blue collar workers where the man out there lifting and doing all of this and the girl in the back like, I could do the rake or I could sweep. We ain't talking about that. Well, yeah, you do need to get paid more because, girl, you ain't really doing nothing to help. But I'm talking about when we both sitting at the same desk, typing the same emails, replying to the same stuff. Why the heck am I getting paid 60 cents off the same dollar that he's getting a whole there? Misogynistic microaggressions, sexist humor, action that reflects objectification, assumptions of inferiority, refusal to take on certain roles such as caregiving due to the belief that these are strictly for females. Because there's a lot of men out there like that. I ain't doing that because caring for your kid is I'm going to say until maybe 25 years ago, a lot of men, I knew men who had never changed diapers. These new men, y'all new men different. This is a new, we done ushered in a new class of men. Y'all know how to get it together. Y'all cook, y'all clean. A lot of men are single. They keep really nice homes. And I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. But we've turned the tide. That is for certain, because there was a time when men didn't have nothing to do with parenting other than I came home, sat down, cracked open a beer, and I ate at the table with the kids, kind of, sort of. I might have watched the game or went to see them play or something. But other than that, men weren't really involved in the home. And those roles were kind of misogynistic to think that that's only a woman's job. And luckily, I'm seeing a lot of those microaggressions no longer on the forefront. Some heterosexist microaggressions, making assumptions about people's sexual orientation. Sometimes you think people gay, and they not. Sometimes you think they heterosexual, and they not. And then sometimes you could be thinking what you think, and they don't know how to classify themselves too. They confuse, we confuse, and that's a microaggression right there. I'm confused. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all got too many alphabets. I don't know. I'm never trying to be insensitive, but even my gays be confused. They said, girl, I'm confused. Okay, they got me out here confused, and I'm just straight up gay, and they got more stuff going on that I'm kind of lost too, so I got to do my own reading, and yeah, learn me something, because they got us all out here confused, and I don't mean to say they, because pronouns and all that other stuff matter. Again, we don't even know. You done messed up the English language. I don't even know how to respectfully speak on the topic. But another heterosexist microaggression, telling someone that they don't look or seem like their identity. That's what I just talked about. Accusing people of being oversensitive. Again, this is a Cancerian show. I'm a Cancer, and I am so sensitive about my ish. Everything hurts my feelings, breaks my heart. Don't come tell me I'm oversensitive about a dang thing, okay? Because when I stop being sensitive, I fight. I'm my daddy's child. I will hit you, okay? Don't do me. And yeah, I am sensitive. I do know that, but you ain't got to tell me that because that's a microaggression. So check yourself. And saying I'm not homophobic, but you know that whole no homo, but then you say something so dang homophobic. Like, grow up. Grow up. So ultimately, microaggressions causes harm. They are a form of prejudice. We are all of us, everybody. We done all said some stuff that I'd like for us to rethink. This weekend, I was hanging with a family friend. This is me checking myself. And we hadn't seen each other in a while. And we're like, oh, hey, da-da-da, whatever. And people kind of moved about. And it was just he and I left there talking. And I'm like, how you doing or whatever. I noticed physically that he doesn't look the same. And he says, man, Princess, I ain't seen you in a minute. It's been so much going on. I'm like, oh, well, tell me about it. Like, what's going on? And he was like, man, I've been diagnosed with, he was like, I beat stage 4 cancer. What was it? Liver cancer. Stage 4 liver cancer. I've gone through this, because that's the biggest one of them, right? Stage 4 liver cancer. I did this. Just riddling off all of the health challenges in which he has been dealing with, and the fact that he is now looking for a he's on the list to be a recipient of a new liver transplant, something to that. And immediately out my mouth, what? You don't look like you had no cancer. What? And luckily for me, I had already began putting this show together. And so when I said it, I felt this transfer, because we were on one of the other shows, we were talking about energy, the transfer of energy, where I felt it diminish his experience. Now, he is much like me, upbeat, energetic, you never know, won't let things bring them down, that kind of individual. And as soon as I said it, I said, I'm going to have to correct that. So I let him finish his thought, and saying, he was like, yeah, you know, Mike didn't tell you, blah, 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 and all this other stuff. I was like, no, I had no idea. And I was like, you know what? And this is my way of self-correction, self-reflection, because of course, if you don't see yourself, you ain't gonna never fix it, right? You got to see where you were wrong. And I was like, you know what? I'm happy that you're still here, because, you know, we love you to death and don't want to see you go so untimely. I did not know, but what I will say is you look good. You don't look like what you've been through. No, I had no idea. I am so sorry that is something that you have been dealing with. If there's anything that I can do to assist in any kind of way, of course, I don't know what it is that I can do. Heck, maybe I could just tell jokes or something. I have no clue. But I'm glad that you're here. Like, wow. So, you know, tell me more about what's going on, and, you know, as much as you care to share. But the first thing I said, like, you don't look like you had no cancer. What? Stage 4 cancer, somebody fighting for their life, and all you got to say is, you don't look like you went through no cancer, like belittling it, diminishing it. I don't know what that fight looks like. I've never known anyone to pass away. Well, I know people who passed away from cancer. I've never seen the fight up close. I lost my parents at an early age to myself, but luckily for me, I didn't have to see them go through anything. It was kind of like a subtle, fast something, thankfully, because I do see when people have to care for their parents when, you know, they're diminishing, that's very difficult. So to have a friend or someone close in the family that is of close, a peer to me. He's a few years older than me, but we're still young. And to know that he's gone through so much, I wanted to shoot myself in the fucking toe for letting that be the first thing that comes out of my mouth, because we're always trying to me comfort people or make people feel good. But in thinking about what I said, how did that make somebody feel good? I'm telling you, I almost died, but I don't look like you just died. So you just took away my whole experience? Like the black experience. Like, oh, that ain't what they said. So you're going to take away all of my being black, all of what it looks like to show a black, be black, because I can't take the skin off. You can't take the cancer off. I can't take these things off. They hurt. I love being a black woman. I love showing up as a black woman. I think it's lit to be a black woman, but I can't take it off. So if anybody was ever to talk to me like, girl, like downplay it, that's my whole identity. That's who I am. What do you mean? And so that was a huge one for me, that as I was, curating and creating the show this whole weekend, I said, and there I fell right into the trappings of something that I'm trying to teach away or whatever. So I just want to put that out there, because I felt like a ASS, like an idiot, and knew immediately right after it came out of my mouth, you got to clean this up, because that is not how you want to leave this person that you love feeling, and make it seem as if their experience is diminished in any way, because that is what I'm sure it feels like to be on the receiving end of the dumb crap that flew out my mouth. So ultimately, microaggressions, they cause harm, and they are a form of prejudice. So we want to, the ways in which we want to avoid them, we can be empathetic to the person receiving the microaggression. We don't need to be defensive or dismissive of them. We need to take responsibility for any underlying biases. Educate yourself, read, get a better understanding as I've laid some of them out. Let it sit with you and understand we all do this. Not that we intentionally want to, because as I spoke before, it is unintentional. And sometimes we have no idea that we've offended people. But hopefully with this show, we learning, we growing, we gonna be knowing that we need to fix ourselves, because that's what we're here for. So educate yourselves and commit to a more changed behavior. So one way to handle them, they say, is to respond to the microaggression if it feels safe to do so, because sometimes it may not be safe. And if you out here and these Karens want to fight, ain't no point in going to jail as a black man or woman over some idiot who says something stupid that we can just go on and let it go on and not even do nothing about it. We can discuss the incident briefly, arrange to discuss it with the person again later, and that's if that's somebody that's in your life, because they come at us so quickly and so fast, we don't really have time to say, oh wait, I want to talk to you about that. Wait, hold on, it could have been at the store. I don't know her. I don't ever need to talk to her again. Is she lucky? I pop her in a... Okay, we talk about that on here. So yeah, it gives people the chance to reflect, kind of like what I did. And you get the chance to consider and possibly practice what to say, what and how to be better. Help them to be better, help yourselves to be better. Let the person know how the microaggression made you feel and why it's significant. Sometimes in letting people, everybody has a heart. I don't care what color skin you are. Might not be the biggest heart, the best heart, most compassionate heart, empathetic heart. However, it's when in there beating. And sometimes letting people know how you feel gives them pause to make the correction. Not everybody, but this is just some of the ways in which we can handle things thrown our way. Criticize the microaggression, not the person. And that might be hard, because we're going to append something to the person and we're going to stick it together. That's who they are, right? Sometimes stuff fly out of people's mouth. That ain't who they are. We meet people in different places, spaces, times, circumstances. They could be going through something. They not listening to themselves. They are on autopilot. They gone. They like me in the moment. just trying to be with a family and say something stupid and dumb that was belittling. And that's not the person that they are, nor do they ever want to make people feel smaller than, diminished, insecure, and all those things. So take those two things away. Take the microaggression away from the person, and then let's have a conversation about it. Or hopefully you can criticize the microaggression itself and not the person that it came from, because oftentimes it's unintentional. They have no idea that they said some stupid stuff, and that just is what it is. Take care of yourself by seeking social support. If you are in a instance like me, 12 white men, 1 white woman, 1 black man, 1 black me, you need somebody to talk to. And I'm just going to say that. So practicing healthy self-care techniques. I'm a practicing Buddhist. My chanting, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, keep me from killing somebody. Okay? Because, yeah. And if you can avoid taking on work related to marginalization, where it has you out in the trenches and dealing with marches, protests, and a whole lot of stuff that's going to trigger you, maybe sit it out, prioritize your mental health, and realize that that's not the fight for you. There may be other areas or ways in which you can fight the good fight, but that ain't it. So protect your peace and all that good stuff. So on purpose, my on purpose statement today, that's about the herd theory. I heard this and I was like, it is so crazy. I was watching some, I watch a lot of animals. Sheep. The herd theory is you don't have to convince everyone, just a few. So this sheep herder was somewhere in, I don't know, let's just say India. I don't know. I'll make that up. I don't know where he was. And he was trying to get this herd of sheep over like a little ravine. It was a waterway, right, that separate one grassy area from the other. And they all, I ain't going, I ain't leaving, you got me. No, not doing it. So he walks and he takes his stick and he like hits the bottom of 2 sheep, and they scurry and they walk straight across the little plank thing, because it was wide enough for them to go. They were just scared, right? Because that's the herd theory. They're all scared, all frightened, didn't know, had no clue. And when those 2 walked, he never turned around. He just boom, boom, hit them on their little bottom. They walked on, and he walked right behind them. And when he turned around, the whole flock of sheep were lined up, just walking across. Had nothing, didn't have to say anything to them, didn't have to, all he needed was those 2, the first 2, get their butt across, knowing everybody else is going to follow. What that have to do with this show? I don't know. It was something I was going to share though. So that's that. You don't need to convince everyone, just a few. I think because sometimes we start with, I think this is where I was tying it in, probably with this show. Sometimes you start something, you start a venture, you start anything in life, anything you start in its inception is your baby. You've birthed something, and you feel as if you have to sell it. You have to sell it here, sell it there, sell it up the chain, sell it to these people, sell it to that people. Some things sell themselves. And I think that it is true that you don't have to convince everyone. You convince a few, and then everybody else end up following. So that's that. My high of the week was, I went to the jazz festival and I got to hang out with my 2 cousins on my mom's side, and that's really my high of the week. I can't remember. Thanks to my candies, I don't remember much. I'm just joking, I remember, but that was the high, being with my family. losing my mom. I think I was 22, 23 or something like that. And when I am with my cousins, it's something tangible. Like my cousin and I would call ourselves twin cousins because our mothers, our sisters, they're the only two girls. And we have the same hands. It's so weird. And so when we're there, we like hold hands and we send each other pictures of our hands. We always end up having, without ever talking about it, we always manage to have the same nail color. Random and weird and crazy, but it's that connective tissue that I loved, and I was so happy to spend a day with my cousins, even though it was at a long jazz festival that they need to get their act together. It allowed for us to hang out and drink wine because my cousin B, she goes so hard, so fast. She be drunk quick. She needs to slow it down, knowing that she got to sit out there for 10 hours. Her bottle be gone before the first act even get his equipment up and running. Like, girl, then she be sleeping half the concert. So that was my high of the week. My low of the week, it just happened. My one of my good friends, he just texted me right before the show. So I'm soliciting prayers, and he just hit me up and said that he was being rushed to emergency. They found a blood clot in his calf. And as I'm triaging via text, like, what do you mean? What's going on? So when I leave here, I'm going to eat, check on him, and see if I need to drive out to Whittier to the hospital to check on my friend, because that just dropped me low on this show. And life is so precious. I am very thankful for you guys. I am grateful for you guys. We here for a good time, not a long time. Unless you like my big mama and you here for almost 113 years. But she was ready to go because she said, I done lost all my kids. I done lost all my friends. There's no need for me to still be here. So a good time, a long time, long enough. As long as I outlive the petty petunias. That's all I care about. I'm just playing, y'all. So yeah, I thank you. I am asking for prayers for my friend. I appreciate you guys for joining, watching, liking, sharing, subscribing, hitting that notification button, notification button, sharing the Instagram shares or whatever you've done. I appreciate you guys so much. I thank you so much for joining in today, and go look at some of the other shows if you haven't. This is probably the best one because it's probably my best connection, because if you've seen what I was working with, your girl it's been all bad. So I figure we ain't got nowhere to go but up from here. So I thank you guys, and y'all ain't gotta go home. You really don't, because you're probably already there, right? Or wherever y'all at. You ain't gotta go home. But you know the deal. You gotta get up on my line. So I love y'all. Bye.